on network television, and there's a show Ghost on CBS that has a bigger audience than we do. Just doesn't garner the same attention. So, ABC's secret do not air list just leaked. And it's shocking. For decades they've been quietly banning episodes that networks don't want you to see. In the 1960s they pulled a romance episode because the couple had different skin colors. In the 1980s they banned action scenes after crew members got hurt. But 2025 is different. Now they're banning episodes about climate change in school funding. One 911 episode cost them $2.50 million just to bury what's really on. This list will make you question everything you thought you knew about television. In the early 1960s, something strange kept happening on American television. BC had a show called Adventures in Paradise, which aired from 1959 to 1962. It followed a handsome schooner captain named Gardner McKay sailing across the South Pacific. One episode was quietly pulled off the air. Why? Because it showed a romance between people of different races. Back then, even though no law banned it, the network believed it would upset Southern viewers. And they weren't wrong. At that time in 16 U.S. states, interracial marriage was still illegal. That didn't change until 1967, when the Supreme Court made its famous ruling in Loving versus Virginia. But in the early 60s, TV networks were scared. They feared losing money from angry sponsors. In fact, one leaked report said that just one controversial episode could lead to a 30% drop in Southern viewership. So they stayed quiet, avoiding race stories almost completely. Only around 5% of shows in the 1960s even touched those topics. Meanwhile, huge civil rights marches like the one in Washington in 1963 were changing the country. But on TV it was like none of it was happening. In the 1980s the fear changed. Now it wasn't about race. It was about violence. ABC started banning episodes they thought were too dangerous. In 1981 they refused to air one episode of The Fall Guy, a show full of wild stunts. This episode had more than 15 risky scenes, including cars flipping and explosions. During filming, 3 crew members got hurt. BC panicked. They started marking scripts with "do not air" to avoid lawsuits and rising insurance costs. They weren't alone. Back in 1969, CBS canceled The Wild Wild West after star Robert Conrad got a serious head injury, a 6 inches skull fracture during a fight scene. That led all networks to quietly cut back on action scenes by about 25%. By 1985, ABC had reduced violent moments in prime time by 40%. But it came at a cost. The Fall Guy lost 2 million viewers and dropped from Tabor 25 to their 35 in the ratings. Behind the scenes, leaked papers revealed the truth. Executives were more worried about money than storytelling. Insurance premiums had gone up by 150%, and they didn't want to pay. In the 1990s, ABC started banning shows about teen sexuality. One of the most surprising cases happened in 1998 when the network pulled a Boy Meets World episode from syndication. The episode, called Promises Promises, aired on May 1st, 1998. It showed Corey and Topanga, teen couple, talking about whether or not to have sex on prom night. They eventually decided not to, but the topic alone caused outrage. Over 500 people sent complaints to the FCC. Families began boycotting the show, and by season 7 the rerun viewership had dropped from 11.6 million to around 8.7 million. That's a 25% fall. Disney had bought ABC in 1995, and after that the pressure to keep things family-friendly grew stronger. ABC ended up banning 12 more episodes across its TGIF lineup that same year. The move reminded people of another 90s controversy, the 1996 Ellen episode where she came out as gay. That Show also lost 20% of its audience. What hurt the most about The Boy Meets World ban was that the episode didn't even promote sex. Promoted abstinence, but even that was too much. At the time, 1 in 4 high schoolers in the US were dealing with the same questions, but the show was punished for trying to talk about it. Now in 2025, things have shifted again. The main reason for banning shows isn't race or violence or even sex. It's money. ABC's long-running hit Grey's Anatomy is in its 22nd season. It was renewed on April 3, 2025, and the new season starts on October 9th, but the episodes are getting more expensive. Some of the newer scripts include complicated scenes with lots of CGI like high-tech surgeries or hospital disasters. An episode now costs more than $5 million to make. So the network banned 3 of them to save money. This helped them cut costs by 20%. They didn't want a repeat of what happened in season 21 when one big explosion scene ran 15% over budget and forced expensive reshoots. After the 2024 writer and actor strikes, ABC slashed drama budgets by 10%. Across the whole network, they pulled 25 experimental episodes just to stay under a $100 million overspend. In March 2025, internal memos were leaked showing that inflation had pushed up the cost of props by 30%. Big stars like Ellen Pompeo were earning $575,000 per episode, and that made everything harder to afford. Rumors say cast members like Jake Belly and Midori Francis might leave soon, which could cause a 12% drop in ratings. Right now, Grey's Anatomy has about 3.5 million live viewers per episode. The whole industry is in trouble. After the 2025 Hollywood recession hit, 40% of new pilots were canceled before they even started filming. ABC's bans today aren't about morals. They're about survival. But sometimes real life crashes into TV in shocking ways. On April 15, 2021, while filming The Rookie in downtown Los Angeles, real gunshots rang out near the set. The crew heard 3 loud pops and a nearby building was hit. Police swarmed the area. It wasn't part of the script. It was real gunfire. The show's star Nathan Fillion and the rest of the cast had to stop shooting immediately. No one was hurt, but it shook everyone. Filming in the city had suddenly become very dangerous. Just a few months later, something even more tragic happened on a different set. On October 21, 2021, a gun misfired on the set of Rust, killing cinematographer Helena Hutchkins. 1 day after that, The Rookie showrunner Alexi Hawley sent out a memo. He banned all live gunfire